Deku was in the Dino Squad, Part 3. Now, before I continue with this story, I must say, Boku no Hero Academia, otherwise known as My Hero Academia, was originally made by Toho and Bones, and its original creator was Koi Horikoshi. And Dino Squad was originally owned by Deke Entertainment Corporation. Please support the official release. And there are some more What If Dekus that I am working on right now. They should be done in about 3 weeks. I'm going to go ahead and tell you what they're going to be. They're going to be What If Deku was a warlock. Sorry, my dog is scratching herself right now. And What If Deku was a firewolf. And I can't wait to finish them and read them to you guys. So I hope you enjoy the story. Let's get into it. Okay, now the last time we left off, Izuku managed to unlock his full dinosaur mode. He then was approached by Bakugo. Bakugo confronted him, thought that he was bigger than him, but Izuku managed to calm him down and asked him if he was okay. Then Izuku's mom saw what happened on the news. She asked if he was okay and when did he unlock his quirk, and she wanted to take him to the doctor. This is where we left off, and here's the rest of the story. In the United States, hang on, let me make sure this is recording. Yep, it's recording. In the United States of Maine, in Catering Point, we are seeing a lighthouse, and in that lighthouse, there is a boy with green hair. He is surfing the web out of boredom. This man's name is Buzz. He is on the news page looking at what's going on in the world. Buzz then says, blah blah blah, hero saves cat from a tree, teenage boy turns into a dinosaur, yada yada yada. Wait, what? Buzz then begins to read on the topic. Buzz is astonished on what he is reading. Another perfect dinosaur? Could this be the work of Victor? Buzz then shows this to the rest of his team. Max, Caruso, Fiona, and Rogers. Max, the leader of the team, says, "A kid with dino powers? I thought we were the only ones." Roger then says, "Well, it could possibly be a quirk of his." Caruso then says, "Well, whatever it is, look at the views on this. He's more famous than me." Fiona then says, "Caruso, the only thing you have to run off when it comes to fame are your 4 Instagram followers." The team laughs at that statement. Caruso just smirks and says, whatever. Then their science teacher, who was originally a velociraptor, Miss Moynihan, comes in and says, "It's not a quirk. I can see it in his eyes. He's just like the 5 of you." "Well then, what do we do?" says Buzz. "We have to help him," Miss Moynihan said. "I need the 2 of you to go to this boy and help him understand his newfound abilities." Roger and Max volunteer, while the rest of the team wants to go and meet this new dino friend of theirs. But someone has to stay back and look after the town. And since we've seen this, you already know that Victor is already taking action on this. Max and Roger prepare for their field trip to Japan. The next day, Inko and Izuku were at the doctor's office trying to understand what's going on with Izuku's quirk. The doctor comes in and says, "Oh wait, hang on a second. Yeah, sorry about that. My food was ready to come out of the oven." The doctor comes back and tells Inko and Izuku that they don't quite understand what's going on with him. But running test after test after test, and one time during a test, a doctor did something weird to Izuku, but Izuku just rubs it off. The doctors are unable to understand anything about Izuku's quirk. All they could find was that his DNA has mutated, but nothing to connect him to his transformation. The doctors say that they're sorry they couldn't help, and sends Izuku and Inko on their way. Izuku and Inko are heading home when Deku gets an idea, telling his mom, "I need to go somewhere and I'll see you later." Inko says, "Okay, bye son." Izuku retreats his steps from under the bridge to the alleyway where his powers activated, truly trying to remember what went through his mind and how he was feeling when he transformed into his full dino form. Izuku was at the spot when he went full dino when he was found by Toshinori. Toshinori was happy to see Izuku and asked him for his name. He asked to talk with Izuku about yesterday, saying, "Young Midoriya, yesterday you inspired me to go beyond my limits, and when I saw you rescue your friend from that villain, your body just moved on its own, didn't it?" Izuku had a flashback. His body did indeed move on its own. Izuku then nodded and said yes. Toshinori says, "Young Midoriya, I want to make you a deal, but I want to talk with you somewhere else." Izuku and Toshinori head down to the beach. Toshinori then buffs up into his All Might form and says, "Young man, I wish to give you my quirk and be my next successor." All Might then explains more about One for All and how if Izuku wants to inherit it, he would have to ingest his DNA. Izuku thought about it and asked if he had some time to think about it. "Sure," said All Might, "but there's something else I want you to know." Prince Vegeta, go subscribe to him. "I would also like to train you, young Midoriya, to help you use and understand your quirk." Izuku says yes to All Might's offer and asks, "When do we start?" "Right now," said All Might. Out of nowhere, All Might throws a refrigerator at Izuku, and out of instincts, Izuku turns into his first form of dinosaur, with his claws, talons, and red eyes, catching the refrigerator in mid-air. "Wow," said All Might, "that refrigerator weighs 360 pounds, and you're able to catch it in this small form of your dinosaurs." Izuku then looks at himself in amazement and says, "Wow, so this is what the power was, huh? Can't wait to use it more." Yep, it's recorded. All Might then says, "It's time for your training, young Midoriya. Your task is to clean this beach with your own body to build up your own strength, just in case your quirk doesn't want to work." Deku looks at the beach, the filthy, filthy beach, then smiles with a determination. Looks at All Might and says, "Okay, beach cleaning starting now." All Might then says, "Wonderful, you have until the end of 10 months to clean this place and decide if you wish to inherit my quirk." Izuku, being more determined than ever, says to himself, "This is my chance to be a true hero." The next day, during school, everyone saw the video of Izuku's miraculous transformation, and everyone is more nicer to Izuku, knowing that he has power better than theirs. Bakugo doesn't bully Izuku as much. He's still how do I put this? Rough around the edges. He just doesn't harass Izuku as much. Anyway, Bakugo walks to Izuku and talks to him in a calm in a calm voice. "Hey, Izuku, did you learn how to control your quirk yet?" Izuku replies, saying, "I'm training right now. But don't worry, I'll learn soon enough how to use my quirk, and you and me can spar." Bakugo says, "Ha! Like hell yeah. There's no way I'm losing to you, though, so you better train a lot harder until that day comes." They then smile at each other and then go their separate ways. And then on the next day, Izuku is approached by two college students while he was getting snacks at a supermarket. This is Roger and Max. They then say, "Hey, I know you. You're that kid that changed into a dinosaur, right?" Izuku nods, saying, "Yeah, that's me." Roger and Max look at Izuku and Max says, "That's cool. Say, can you..." Oh my god, I hope my dog is not drinking out of the door. Yeah, sorry about that. My dog was doing something and I had to go check on her to make sure she was okay. But back to where we were. Roger then says, "Tell me, did it look somewhat like this when you entered the first stage of your dinosaur form?" Roger then shows Izuku his first form of his dinosaur. Izuku is baffled by what he is seeing. It is silent for about 10 seconds. Max breaks the silence, saying, "Kid, we're just like you," putting his hand on Izuku's shoulder to put him at ease. Max and Roger want to speak to Izuku in private, so they went down to the beach. Izuku is explaining to them that it all started when he saved someone's life from drowning in the ocean. And after he did, he suddenly fell ill. And after 2 days later, he felt like a new man. And Roger and Max are thinking. And then they ask Izuku, "Is this the exact spot when it happened?" Izuku says, "Yeah." The two boys then see a boat out in the open of the water. All of a sudden, the boat is being attacked by a giant Megalodon. Max and Roger tell Izuku to wait here while they go deal with the situation. Roger then reaches into his suitcase and pulls out what appears to be a tiny boat. Something about a toy size that a child would play with. Roger then throws the small boat into the ocean. It then emerges from the ocean, floating above it, being as it appears a hydrofoil, looking like a dinosaur. The two men then climb aboard, leaving Izuku at the beach while they go deal with the mutant. The Megalodon is about to tear the boat apart when he is distracted by rocks hitting it from inside of its head. The Megalodon then turns its attention to Max and Roger while the boatman escapes. The two boys then head towards shore while Izuku is watching in a maze. The two boys manage to get the Megalodon to shore with them, but it's still attempting to bite and to fight. Max tells to Roger to get the DNA chiller and the devolver. The Megalodon won't stay still for the DNA chiller to work. Izuku sees a giant fishing net to catch the Megalodon in, but it's not enough to slow it down. Max gets an idea and then says, "Go Dino!" and he transforms into his Tyrannosaurus Rex form. Holding the net down on one side, Max in his dinosaur form talking telepathically to the dinosaurs near him. Duly noted that these other dinosaurs are Roger and Izuku. Those are the only two that he can telepathically speak with. Anyway, he's standing on one side of the net saying, "Oh, darn it, I can't hold it." Roger says, "I'd help you, but I need to frost him and devolve him, and I can't do it when I'm a pterodactyl." They then look at Izuku and says, "Izuku, we need your help." Izuku is hesitant and says, "I don't know how to fully change," but Max says, "It's okay. Just close your eyes." Izuku then closes his eyes, and Max then says, "Now, take a deep breath and let it out slowly." And another one. And now, think of the biggest purpose of your life. What is the one thing in life that you want to be a hero for? Izuku thinks of All Might and his mom and the people of Japan, and how one day he wants to be the next #1 hero to protect all the people he cares about and the things that he's grown to love. Izuku then opens his eyes and says out loud, "I want to protect them all." As that phrase itself echoes through the air, Izuku then turns into his full dinosaur form of a Tyrannosaurus Rex, and stands next to Max, holding the Pteranodon down. Could you not kick me, please? The Pteranodon, the Megalodon down. Roger is amazed at Izuku and how big he is, and then he sees an opportunity to defrost and to devolve the Megalodon. The Megalodon then changes back into an ordinary shark. Max and Izuku put the devolved shark back into the ocean. Max changes back into his human form, but Roger tells Izuku to not change back yet. He wants to get measurements of Izuku, and after examining Izuku, he comes to terms that Izuku, in his full dinosaur form, stands about 4 meters tall and is about 12.3 meters wide, and weighing about 8.160 kilograms. And he's measured his speed. He can run up to 45 to 55 miles per hour, and his bite force is phenomenal. He can rip anything apart with ease. In his human form Max in his human form tells Izuku how to change back into a human. But before that, Izuku remembers what happened after the first time he changed back into a human. He then grabbed his backpack with his mouth and headed behind a giant rock. Izuku, back in his human form, is a little sore, but not as sore as before, since this was the second time changing into a dinosaur. Izuku walks back to Max and Rogers. They're both surprised about how big Izuku was compared to Max's dinosaur form. Max then says, "Wow, Izuku, I'm impressed by your dinosaur form. It was certainly bigger and stronger than mine." Izuku replies with a "Thank you. I really do have to learn to control it, though." Roger says to Izuku, "That's what we're here for. We're here to train you and teach you how to use your powers, Izuku. But before we do that, would you like to become a member of the Dino Squad?" Izuku smiles and says yes to this proposal. And Max places his hand on Izuku's shoulder, giving him his dinosaur symbol, like the one you see here on Max's chest, right there, that little golden thing right there. And is in the form of a T-Rex, just like the one I showed you. Izuku smiles as Roger and Max walk away and says, "Tomorrow we start your training, Izuku." While Izuku head towards the pile of trash to pick up where he left off. And that's where I'm going to have to end it. Alright, now, I'm really excited about doing other parts of What If Deku's. Like, I practically already am on the first page of What If Izuku was a guardian warlock from Destiny. Now, forgive me, I've rehearsed this like 18 times and I can't seem to get it right without stuttering, but I am trying my best, and I promise you guys I will get better at it as I go along. And yeah, with that, I'd like to bid everyone a nice day, and if you watch this video to the end, consider yourselves #blessed. Goodbye.